So today we're going to be looking at the 14 winners of this year's Prix de Lausanne competition. Now, if you don't already know, the Prix de Lausanne is one of the world's most prestigious ballet competitions. It's held in Lausanne in Switzerland. It first started in 1973 and it's for ballet students aged between 15 to 18. There were 14 scholarship winners, so I'm going to try to go quite quickly through each one. And this video will be in two parts. In part one, we'll look at scholarships 14 to 8, and in part two, we'll look at scholarships 7 to 1. And at the end of part two, I'll include an extra dancer who didn't win a scholarship, but I felt their performance was so fantastic, I still wanted to feature them. With each dancer, we're also going to look at where they're from and where they trained and see how that has influenced their style of dancing. Now, the Prix de Lausanne is known for attracting the most incredible dancers and really promising dancers as well. And in particular, you'll notice that they are all technical wizards. The level of technical ability is astounding, and I feel like it just gets more and more impressive each year. What I do love about the Prix de Lausanne compared to some other competitions is that they do value artistic ability, and for me that's one of the most important parts of ballet. You know, ballet is all about storytelling and moving your audience, transporting your audience, and so without that deep artistic side, for me ballet just becomes a bit too gymnastic. So I do love that the Prix de Lausanne values that. So the dancers that we watch today, you will see how incredible they all are, particularly their technical ability. Like I said, it is astounding. They all have artistic qualities. They wouldn't be in the final of the Prix de Lausanne if they didn't. And what I love about artistry is that it will develop differently over time for each dancer. And with professional experience, each dancer will gain a certain layer of depth. And what makes it exciting is that we can't necessarily predict how it will develop. So I'm going to use Hannah O'Neill as an example. Hannah O'Neill was a prize winner at the Prix de Lausanne back in 2009. She was then recruited by the Paris Opera, and I was actually in her audition that led to her recruitment at the Paris Opera. I got through to the final with her, and I just remember at the time she was so beautiful. Her presence was extraordinary. She was so strong. She really stood out already at such a young age. So this is a video of her in 2009, age 16, doing a variation from La Bayadère. And as you can see, it's very nice, it's very clean, it's very controlled, it's pretty, it's sweet. She's a lovely dancer, but I want to compare it with a clip of Hannah O'Neill 10 years later. After she was recruited by the Paris Opera and worked with them professionally, she came back to the Prix de Lausanne, not as a competitor, but as a performer, and she did this beautiful performance during the interlude. And just look at the difference. I'm only going to play you the beginning because that's all you need to see. Already here, all she's done is step up into fifth and she's clapped her hands. It's not very much. But the difference in presence, she demands your attention. It's that French authority that they have. She's so much stronger. I mean, physically, if you look at her, her legs, they're so much stronger. But it's more than that. She has become her character. There's this deep understanding of her character, and you are with her. Even just with the simplest of movements, she has silenced a room. And it's that level of stage presence that I think really does come with maturity and experience. So when you watch these dancers, please keep in mind that first of all, they are children. They haven't even begun their professional career, they're still at school. And so if this is what they're bringing to the stage, as students, can you imagine the kind of dancers they will be in 10, 20 years' time? And so that's what the competition is about. It's not about a finished piece, it's about promise and potential. So we're going to start off with the 14th prize winner, Giel Jong from South Korea. I hope I pronounced that correctly. She's performing The Pharaoh's Daughter, which is actually quite rare because you do actually need permission to perform it. And I'm very excited to see this because so often with competitions you see the same variations again and again. So it is lovely to see something like The Pharaoh's Daughter. Giel is 17 here, and she trained at the Academy Princess Grace. So this academy is in Monaco. The school emphasises refinement, technical precision, a beautiful sort of old European elegance, and the classes are kept quite small, so each individual student gets a lot of personal feedback from their teachers. So already knowing her training, we are expecting to see very, very clean lines, attention to detail with her footwork. We're going to expect to see that beautiful roll down through the feet that you see with French technique. Obviously Monaco isn't France, but there's a similar kind of training there. We're going to see very classical lines with the arms, and she'll have a real grace to her port de bras. Oh, beautiful. Very elegant. So already see gorgeous technique. Oh, roll through the feet instantly. Lovely extensions, a gorgeous balance, and again that roll through the feet. Very clean classical arm positions, that's what we expected. Nice connection with her audience. Everything is so precise, you could literally pause any moment and it would be picture perfect. Beautiful use of the upper body, very, very strong. There's a real sense of symmetry in her movements. She is the balancing queen. All these gorgeous moments where she suspends in the air, but she's not late for the music. Lovely, clean but delicate use of her head, beautiful hands. There's absolutely no rigidity in her wrists or hands or fingers. It was a nice triple. Unfortunately, she came out of it a little bit early, but you didn't see that register on her face. She was very professional about it, made it look like she did it on purpose. Some lovely chaînés here. In these lame ducks, we don't see her using the depth of her fondue until that last one. That's quite typical of faster lame ducks. She made that whole variation look effortless, which is very, very difficult. For me, what shone was her beautiful balances, her sense of musicality, her gorgeous extensions, her use of articulated footwork, and just her general grace and elegance. I can definitely see why she's one of the prize winners. Moving on now to the 13th prize, we have Milo Deunire from the USA. He is 18 and he's dancing a variation from Paquita. He trained at the City Ballet in San Francisco, so he's quite likely to have had neoclassical and contemporary repertoire as part of his training, so quite a well-rounded training. Therefore, I'm expecting him to be quite expressive. You often see that with dancers who have had strong contemporary training. They really loosen up their classical training slightly, not in a messy way, but just in a more expressive way. The fact that he's chosen this variation suggests that he is a very strong turner and has very strong allegro as well. I'm expecting to see a nice ballon from this dancer. So let's have a look. Lovely lines, already very nice use of a palmar, beautiful extensions, very nice height in his jump, very strong landing, double tour, oh beautiful use of a palmar. I wonder if he's had some kind of Vaganova influences there. Nice projection out to his audience, oh beautiful. So I just want to pause that there for a second. So that was very, very difficult to do. He pulled into his pirouettes from an attitude. So when we're learning pirouettes, we go straight to our retire position, because the faster you can hit your center axis, the easier it is to hold your pirouette. If your leg is floating or moving, you have this extra weight of the leg pulling you in that direction. So he started in an attitude position. That means as he drew the leg into his retire, his weight distribution changed. He went from a heavier weight and like a longer position to a more centered position. Even though you don't see him move, you see him keep his balance completely still. His body is making micro adjustments to allow for that retire to slowly draw in. Then at the end, there's this extension, and even after, I didn't count, but multiple pirouettes, there's this extension where he suspends and holds. And that is so difficult because the momentum of your pirouettes, if you imagine a spinning top, to then put on the brakes and have a moment of balance, it's so beautiful to watch. You have to engage your supporting leg, engage the glutes, and that kind of acts as brakes. You have to lift up, and then the leg that it's extended, you have to reach through the toes, and everything working together gives you this pause where you almost defy gravity and you go against the momentum of the turn. He's also made it musical. And then on top of everything else, it's beautifully placed, beautifully turned out. There's no tension, and he's still on balance. He holds that suspension and then purposely falls onto his working leg for the next thing. Beautifully done. So he has an excellent use of a porte-mort here, very expressive. Oh, and some nice turn. Oh, he's a turner. So I'll just pause that there as well to let the leg drop to a cul de pied position and then lift. Again, it requires so much control. Basically, in any kind of pirouette where your working leg is moving, you are making the job of the turn so much harder because, like I said, it's much easier to just hold a position, keep it there to the end, and then close. But to have a working leg moving, you've got to be making all these micro adjustments to your weight distribution. But you can see he just keeps his center axis so perfectly aligned. That's something both dancers have with our previous dancer as well, just this symmetry in their movements. Just came off balance ever so slightly, but it didn't matter because it went into his tour, and then we have a lovely end position. Everything is so well placed. This dancer, he is wonderfully expressive. He has this lovely connection with his audience. But for me, it's his use of a porte-mort and his understanding of lines, the lines that his body creates, that really stands out to me. And then, of course, he's a beautiful turner. That was a lovely performance. So for the 12th prize, we have Minion Song from South Korea. He trained at the Sunhwa Arts High School. I don't actually know much about this school, but if he's had South Korean training, we can expect to see incredibly precise technique, very clean lines, beautiful, strong, well-aligned pirouettes. And if he's chosen Grand Pas Classique, then he's going to have a wide range of technical ability. So let's have a look. So all ready to begin, beautiful lines, lovely turnout. Oh, he's clearly a very flexible dancer. Very strong pirouettes, you've got that beautiful alignment, again that symmetry we talked about before. More pirouettes, he's a right turner. Very clean classical arm positions here, very typical of the old European style. We don't quite see the same use of a porte-mort as the previous male dancer. Lovely stage presence, connection with his audience, again beautiful lines, lovely height in his jumps. Every single turn is so clean. You could pause this video at any moment, at no point does he come off his axis. So at the end of every turn he's setting himself up beautifully for the next. Beautiful entrechat. He's just leaning towards the floor. You can barely notice it, almost lost his balance there, but it doesn't matter because the variation is over. He's done a spectacular job. It was a very hard variation to do well. Very impressive. So for the 11th prize, we have another South Korean dancer, Yukbang. He is 18, performing a variation from Diana and Aktyeon. When I saw that he was from South Korea, similar to the previous dancer, I thought, okay, we're looking for incredible precision, clean lines, technical mastery, everything I mentioned before. However, and I'll pause when we get to this moment, his entrance, one of the first steps he does is his back to the audience. And there was this gorgeous like ripple through the spine all the way up to his arm. It was almost kind of feline. And I thought, bonjour, this feels very French. I then looked up where he trained, and he trained at my old dance school, which is French. And that made perfect sense to me because I know my dance school very well. That is exactly what they draw out of their dancers. So even though I don't know his full training, I'm going to assume that he maybe did his initial training in South Korea. So we're going to see some incredible technical precision, beautiful, beautiful technique, very clean lines, like immaculate technique. But then you'll see this lovely artistry and this kind of like depth to his artistry and performance qualities. And so his introduction, even though his back is to the audience, there is already this connection, this like expression even from his back. So let's have a look. And a little wink, he's confident. Already this connection with his audience as he walks on stage, and now a little coupe and a ripple through the spine. So French, so gorgeous. Now incredible height in his jumps. Wow, what a lovely jump there. Gorgeous expression. Beautiful balance to his jumps, the height he gets. Wonderful ability to add depth to his dancing and play with the musicality. Wow, oh my goodness, look at those turns. I'm just going to pause there briefly. So his alignment is so solid in those pirouettes. I didn't count how many he did, but you do not see him budge. He stays. His supporting leg has this straight line all the way up his spine, through the top of his neck, up to the top of his head, and he stays there despite multiple turns. The turns aren't pulling him off his center axis at all. Wow, he is a very strong turner. And it's that symmetry once more that we spoke about before. And the descent of the working leg to coup de pied and then drawing it back up to retire. Any kind of movement of the working leg, as we said before, just makes the turn so much more difficult. And yet he keeps his balance absolutely perfectly and he makes it look effortless. What he just did is incredibly difficult and he looked like he could do it in his sleep. This pizzazz as well, this expression, I just love it. Lovely lines. He really understands a pole so well. With such a beautiful blend of technical precision and expression and performance. He does it so beautifully. It's a very difficult solo that he's chosen, but it suits him very, very well. And that was a wonderful performance. I can definitely see why he was a prize winner. Moving on to the 10th scholarship, we have Tayong Kim, another South Korean dancer, and she is from the Seoul Arts High School. And she is 17. She's performing gamzati from the Ballet. I'm going to expect beautiful extensions. We have a lot of grand jetés. So I'm also going to expect some lovely height in her jumps and some very clean pirouettes too. Also, what I love about gamzati is that the music really helps you to add light and shade to your dancing. There are so many moments where you can go slow, quick, instead of just doing position, 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 and it adds depth to your interpretation. I do love that about gamzati. The music really helps you to make the piece more interesting, and so I'm hoping that this dancer really uses the music for her interpretation. She has a very beautiful tutu. You'll see underneath it's red, which is really unusual. I've not actually seen before, but a gorgeous tutu for gamzati. Yes, so that little accent of the head, already we've got a nice strong start. Gorgeous extensions, very, very clean positions, very classical arm positions, soft hands, there's no tension there, nice height in her jumps. Beautiful, she's got that balance of clean classical positions that feel effortless, but then she's also really using the music already to add that extra depth to her interpretation. Some lovely clean turns. That lower chin, it just gives a sense of authority there. Excellent placement. She has real attention to detail. Every single step is there for a reason. It has purpose. She has a beautiful, soft, delicate quality to her arms and her head. Again, it's the symmetry. They are all so strong and controlled. Oh, lovely whip of the arms. That's what I meant. The music really helps you there if you really listen to it. Nice height to her jumps. That's a difficult angle for an arabesque, but she pulls it off so well. Very nice placement, no tension at all. Oh, that's a nice little turn there. 2 and 3. And strong ending, ankles made of steel. That was beautiful, very nice. There definitely was light and shade moments where she's slower and then she catches up so she's not late for the music. Gamzati is a powerful role, and so you can't make it too pretty. It has to be like strong, quite dominant. So those little moments where she dropped her chin, she gave like a strong eyeline to her audience. It really helps with the role. Moving on to the 9th scholarship, we have Draos Grammada. He's Romanian. He is age 18 and he trained at the Zurich Dance Academy. Now, I don't know if he's always been in Zurich or if he has trained in Romania. I don't know. If he has trained in Romania, think of Alina Kojakaru. We get quite a lot of like Vaganova influences. But if he has always been in Zurich, then there's quite a mix in the training, a mix of different European styles, but we can expect him to be very expressive. He will probably have strong roots in like contemporary and neoclassical as well. I worked at the ballet company, Ballet Zurich, and like they're a very, very strong company for their like contemporary ability as well as their classical ability. So he's chosen Paquita, which hints that he is probably very good at pirouettes. He probably has some lovely jumps as well, nice height to his jumps. But overall, we're going to expect to see an expressive dancer, perhaps with quite strong epaulement, maybe if he has Vaganova influences in his training. Let's see. And I want to add that he did win the Contemporary Award, which isn't surprising if he's trained with Zurich. They are known for being wonderful contemporary dancers as well as classically trained. So he's obviously quite an impressive dancer all around. Okay, so lovely presentation. Oh, we have a epaulement, we have a whip. Lovely, clean technique, very, very precise footwork, beautiful turns, excellent height. Again, everything is picture perfect. You can pause it at any moment and you just get a gorgeous photo. Slightly off his leg there in the beginning of those turns a la seconde, but he pulled it back. And drawing that leg into his pirouette, you can see there was this little lift before he lowered down. And that's a great trick for getting just an extra squeeze out of your turns. Nice clean 5th position. Yes, beautiful drama and accents to the head and the arms there. And it gives everything a much cleaner look when you add those little accents. Nice round classical shape to his arms, but then the end, that slightly character dance epaulement to his arm there, perfect for this variation. That was very, very nice. And kind of what we expected. It was expressive, bold, very clean, but also gorgeous epaulement and very dramatic shapes and accents. Next, for the 8th scholarship, we have Yetro Ta. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He's from Belgium, from the Mosse Ballet School. He's only 15 and he's performing a variation from La Femelle Gardée. So the Belgian style is very European. We have some French influences, but overall I would say it's a mix of European styles. Again, a deep focus on expression and performance, which you really see with this dancer. He actually reminds me of a young Daniel Simkin performing Les Bourgeois. I will add a link below to it because if you haven't seen a young Daniel Simkin doing Les Bourgeois, it is masterful. And it's the expression and the playfulness and the understanding of his character that makes it so wonderful. And I think you see it here a bit in Yetro. He's so relaxed, he really plays with his character, and it's just a very enjoyable performance. His technique is clean, don't get me wrong, it's perhaps not as rock solid, clean, precise as some of the other dancers we've seen. He is younger, he's only 15, But I love this expression because, as we've said before, this is about promise and potential. So if this is what he's capable of, you know, filling a stage like he does at 15, I can't wait to see what he'll be like in 10 years' time. So let's have a look. Already in the wings, he's lit up as soon as that music starts. Oh, lovely développé, very on his leg. Okay, so very strong alignment. Lovely presentation to his audience. A little twist in the upper body before his tour, but they were very nice. Good height in his jumps. Gorgeous feet. Oh, he is a turner. Wow, I'm just going to pause it there. He is so young, and yet he managed to do multiple turns and finish with this moment of suspense and then cushion his landing, and he still wasn't late for the music. At such a young age, to be able to do that with such ease is remarkable. Lovely intricate footwork. Lovely round classical arm positions. The arabesque maybe isn't the most crossed, but his expression and use of the space is so gorgeous. I'm going to pause that there. He didn't just hold an arabesque, land in a coupe. He has this rocking motion, which is quite Bournonville, and lovely, again, to see some of these gorgeous older influences in such a young dancer. It just makes his performance so full. But yes, back to the arabesque. He held this arabesque, there was a suspense, and then he rocked into the coupe. That level of control at such a young age is really impressive. Lovely use of the upper body there. We have some very nice Bournonville influences here. Oh, that gorgeous quick and then slow, that light and shade we talked about. Speeding one part up and slowing down another, so it's not all the same. Very, very soft quality to his hands and fingers. There's absolutely no tension there. He makes all of this look so easy. He just came off his leg a bit at the end of those turns, but as we've seen before, this is a very strong turner. His other pirouettes were absolutely gorgeous, so that was just unfortunate. And keep in mind, like, this is a stressful situation, this is a competition, so these dancers, even though they look very chill and confident, they will be nervous too. Wow, a very promising dancer. I can't wait to see where he is in a few years' time, if he's already bringing that to the stage at just 15. So that concludes part 1. I have thoroughly enjoyed looking at all these incredible dancers and looking at what makes them all so unique and mesmerizing to watch. Please stay tuned for part 2, where we'll look at scholarships 7 to 1, and then of course our bonus dancer at the end. As always, if you don't already, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.